It is the final match of the day. Day number 2 of your Play Versus Fall 2020 High School Rocket League Championship. And with that said, we have reached the end of the gauntlet for this part of the bracket. So everyone else is qualified. The only team we don't know about yet is from the coastal region. West Valley is up to bat next. Winner of this represents Alaska, and now, or coastal region, and now we will know who all of our teams are. All 14, 15 of our teams are. And then going into tomorrow, we have our championship bracket. So this is the final match. Brody, short and sweet. I'm not going to hit you with a huge question. We're going to go right into the game. 7 games or 4 games? Only pick one. What are we getting?
7 games or 4 games? 7 games. Absolutely 7
I'll go
games.
with 4, and I'm going to be right. Let's get into the game.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it.
Right.
This is the final matchup. Get on to it, chat. It's time to crown a champion of a coastal region. And more importantly, less of a champion, more of a qualifier. It doesn't matter. Anyway, let's get into it. Wolfpack will be your West Valley. On the other side, Anchorage, or West Anchorage, I should say, in the orange, Screaming Club Eagles. So let's get into it. I'm excited. Brody, it's the final series of the day. We have reached all 8 of our best of 7s.
Well, it's time for the battle for the West, quite literally. I mean, to be fair, the coastal regions are literally, as I have learned in the break, the coastal regions are west.
Did you Google it?
Well, no, you told me. I ain't going to lie to the people. You know, you spoiled it for me.
Sorry.
Or more accurately, our producer spoiled it for me. I didn't get to use the old Google. But I'm not complaining because it saved me some time. That being said, now I know, and it's a great... Oh, why, dog? No! Tries to be snazzy with the play. Speaking of which, it's snazzy on the screen, but tries to get snazzy with the play. And unfortunately, flips one too many times, goes under the ball. It was an open goal.
Well, I certainly would love to see this one go the distance. I mean, we've had a couple of them go the distance today. That's a pinch, and that is an opening goal for the Screaming Club Eagles. It's West Anchorage who find the first goal in this best of 7.
And it's Medium Brick 89 to find it. It's a bit of a janky shot, but gets it right off the bonnet of a Wolfpack player. So Medium Brick going to start things off here strong. We go for kickoff. Medium Brick gets the first touch. Snazzy reverts back to goal. Now, we're seeing the Screaming Club Eagles go straight for the Wolfpack here. Straight for the jugular. It's from high. Edog doesn't miss this one, sure.
Yeah, won't miss it often. That's what you're looking for. Again, the second touch off the back wall. There it is, 2-0. We've seen every type of goal today, every type of situation today. That is an interesting car, I will say the least. 2-0 lead. Dead ball on kickoff. I'll take that. Thank you very much. They're going to bring it up. West Anchorage, the 3-0 lead.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I will say something. I believe in this situation that we are seeing the Wolfpack play a 2 versus 3. Okay. It was a 2 versus 3. Zealous Python has now joined the match, I presume,
there we go.
to be the third of the Wolfpack. I could be entirely wrong with that presumption. It might be misplaced. Even if not, I mean, a 2 versus 3, this is a rough ride because you're already 3-0 down. And no, Zealous Python hasn't spawned in. So, 2 versus 3 here for the Wolfpack. This is a task. We saw what Emerson and
Speed.
The name of the set, Speed, do this here for the Griffins versus the Hornets. Can the Wolfpack do it against the Screaming Club Eagles? It is a very hard thing to do, right?
Not what the car Gage has. I don't know what that is, but oh my word, that's quite a car. I guess I would say. But look, this is a situation where if you're down, 3-0, now it's time to get aggressive, and you only have 2 minutes and 50 seconds to do so. Problem is that yesterday was an anomaly, Brody. Right now, you're seeing that having an extra man on the field is quite literally the difference maker for teams. So it's going to be a tall task. I'm sure they could do it, but it's got to start happening now.
Yeah, and if you're in a 2 versus 3, I know it's really hard to get it right because it's going to be so frustrating for you to play games like this. But the best thing you could literally do is just play super aggressive. Try and annoy the other team as much as possible because you really don't have many other advantages going for you. I think that's what they should be doing, and I kind of like that they are doing that somewhat. It's just, again, unfortunately, when you are at a card disadvantage, it's so hard to get it right? I mean, you have one as battle car on the field. It's so hard to actually find an advantage, and well, Screaming Club Eagles proving that that car advantage is absolutely superior. So the Wolfpack 3-0 down, make it 4. Brixamo gets the pass in from Edog, and it's an easy tap in to make it number 4.
Yeah, just not much to say on that one. 4 out splash as well. And as we close out game number 1, it will be a game 1 win. Look, it's 3v2 and 4 goals. This one is pretty much wrapped up. And that's sometimes just how things work, right? It's hard to play against a man disadvantage when you can't play super aggressive or you don't feel like maybe mechanically you have the ability to do so. But you go back the other way, and at the moment, I mean, every time they can just, well, this one's getting dangerous. Every time you can bring the ball up and take it away, you just, the game is so much easier to you. So, Brixmo punches it in, but either way, it would have rolled regardless. Snazzy can only do so much. It was a 1v3 in the net, and unfortunately, it's a 5-0 lead.
Unfortunately, indeed, Sean. 5-0 for Screaming Club Eagles. They don't need to scream very loudly at all to get this one done. The Wolfpack, they can howl for help all they like. I mean, they need help from a third player. That's really the difference maker, and there's only so much you can analyze here when it just comes down to this is a 2 versus 3, and we are seeing the effects of a 2 versus 3 when the 2 are not Emerson speed. So, I don't want to keep on bringing it back to those 2, but as you rightly pointed out earlier, that was an anomaly. And a 2 versus 3 is such a huge disadvantage.
That was a beatdown. Man, yes, that was Godspeed to the Hornets for having to put up with that. There's a shot. That's a goal. 6-0, 46 seconds. And at this moment, it's a game 1 win. So West Anchorage will go up 1-0 in this best of 7. Only need 3 more games to close it out. And you can even see it there in the chat. Gage saying our only chance is if you play aggressively. And I think he means that if they overcommit and then Wolfpack get lucky, you have a chance for a breakaway shot. But I would say the same thing to Gage and crew. I'd say, hey, guys, the only way you really have a chance at the moment is to get aggressive back on them. Let them know that you have a presence at midfield, but the problem is that they can't do enough. They don't have another body. They don't have that third man. It is a problem. Yesterday was an anomaly. They are just getting run through.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If they did have that third man in that situation, there would be a player back to deal with that shot. And more accurately, the second player wouldn't have had to deal with it in the manner they did. And that's the big problem is that, you can't play all those shots at the same time. It's so hard to do. You're in an impossible situation. The Wolfpack and the Screaming Club Eagles here fighting for it. Here we go. Shots going through here. Snazzy. This is potentially a chance for the Wolfpack, and so unfortunate because
you gotta beat all 3, dude.
Players.
Yeah, it's a 1v3. Like you gotta beat all 3.
Oh.
I think that they might be talking to each other. So if Gage is saying our only chance is for Snazzy, I think Gage, and I'm just going to use this as a way to storytell real quick. I think Gage is saying, look, I can't bring the ball up like you can. So Snazzy, I'm trusting you to run point for today because we're playing a 3v2. The only way we might have a chance in this series is if you run point and you play aggressive. And basically, Snazzy said in chat, I can't play aggressive and try to defend at the same time because he was getting cross field and coming all the way back to defend. And so Gage basically said, okay, I'll play aggressive too. So now, at least if you commit as a team, let's just get right into game 2. If you commit as a team, you have a better chance than if everyone's on a different page. So I think they're actually talking to each other in that situation. But I'm interested now to see if they let Gage run loose a little bit, and if Snazzy can feel like he doesn't have to cover the entire length of the field to play defense, you might have a chance in this series. It is a 3v2, yes, but there is still an opportunity here to either learn or figure out if you can beat them.
Well, let's see if the Wolfpack can learn here. We go into game number 2 straight away versus the Screaming Club Eagles. And what was it, 7-0 in the end there?
Yep.
6-7-0 at the end of that. Screaming Club Eagles, let's see if they can match their record or if the Wolfpack can somehow find a way back into this.
Well, it's going to take a valiant effort. I'm sure they could do it, but one after one, the follow-up attempts here. That's a great pinch falling away from the basket. Medium brick finding all of the net there. I mean, look at this fadeaway. Just an immaculate pinch. What a touch. It's all works, man. 1-0 lead, and right there, Wolfpack, again, have a hole they have to dig themselves out of. Not that they have been self-inflicting these wounds, but it is certainly just a much harder task You're down a man. There's only so much you can do. Well, I give them many, many props and praise for sticking in it and still fighting. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Okay. There's some resistance there on that shot, as it doesn't go through. Still, though, I mean, it's kind of futile.
He literally picked it up at midfield and I was like, oh,
futile.
God. Yeah.
At this point, I mean, you're in a 2 versus 3. I know we keep bring it back. There's only so much we can talk about when we're sitting here watching a 2 versus 3, and it is inevitable that this is going to be a win for the Screaming Club Eagles. And it isn't, to say that the Screaming Club Eagles wouldn't win anyway. We literally have zero idea how this would go if there was a third player on the field. But there's nothing to take away to say about the ability of the Wolfpack or the Screaming Club Eagles.
Sure.
If you are in a 2 versus 3 and the team with more players is winning. This is a completely different situation to what we saw with the Hornets versus the Griffins, where the Griffins were in the 2 versus 3 and they ended up winning by a large margin. Like, that is a completely different situation. We can take away things about the team, the 2 players and the 3 players in that scenario. This one, it's literally a case of, well, we know why one team is winning and we know why they're winning in the fashion that they are. So,
I don't know how many people live in Alaska. Maybe this is literally everyone. Like, maybe they just lost like a rock, paper, scissors, and they're like, okay, Screaming Eagles Club or Club Eagles gets the 3rd player. And maybe this is just everyone in Alaska. So, I don't know. But what I do know is that the coastal region at the moment is praying that I guess they have a team of 3. I don't know. It's just this is unfortunate to watch. It's nothing bad for the Wolfpack. We don't really know how these players will play because they're basically playing on the shortest end of the stick in the worst possible condition, and there's not much they can do. The only way they can really show anything tangible on the field is if they win. Like, if they start winning the games, then we can talk about the matchup itself. But this is where numbers disadvantage feels like you're playing 2v4, 2v5. It is so difficult. This might be a chance, and when everyone's pushed up, you're gonna get killed on fast breaks.
Yeah, there might be a chance here from the Wolfpack, but it's constant. There's some of these. These guys are being rude. I'll say it. Come on, they're in a 2 versus 3. Just have some fun, and yeah, it is what it is. In the break, I want to say this actually. See how badly everyone in Twitch chat judges me. I actually said that if I could live in any if I could live in any place in America, it would be the coastal regions. I didn't even know I wanted to live in the coastal regions because I didn't know what it was. But it's super cold, and I love the cold.
You could literally move to the northeast, but that's fine. I mean, you want to live in Alaska where it's...
But then you described it as London, which is...
No. Seattle is the London of the United States. If you move to places like New York or Boston, move to Boston. It's cold as everything.
Yeah, I don't want to live in New York.
Nice little flip reset. Now we get the kill. Excuse me, the goal. I don't know where that came from. But listen,
it's still casting.
But listen, I don't know, man. Alaska is expensive. They only have 2 hours of daylight sometimes, and it's cold. I get it.
That's perfect.
But no, you're weird. Just move to Boston or New England or Maine. Plus, New Hampshire, Maine. Those are all places that are good for you.
I could watch Deadliest Catch live, which is incredible. I love that TV show so much.
Ice Road Truckers in real time. Are you kidding me?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I don't watch that as much, but yeah, I have seen a few episodes of Ice Road Truckers. And Alaska, it would be perfect, man. It'd be perfect. Or the coastal regions.
Sure.
I wouldn't want to live in New York. I've been to New York. I wouldn't want to live there.
It's busy.
It is for sure busy. I need some. But that's why Alaska's perfect. Is that it's not busy.
That's true.
It would be perfect.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with the cold. I like the cold.
Plus, I could live off the grid. And that would just be great. I mean, I wouldn't have good internet. To be fair, actually, I think that's the perfect.
So you want one line of fiber right to your house, but everything else is shut off. Okay.
Yes. Is that not the perfect situation for you? You don't have to deal with.
There's something appealing to that. That's a goal. There's something appealing to that. Rio, it's a pinch. It's a win in game 2. And this is gonna be a 4-0. This is gonna be a 4-0 series win at this moment. I think it's safe to call all conditions that are present on this table, it's you know, it is what it is, chat. It just is what it is, and these are the situations and the hands we're dealt. And they're being valiant about it. I give Wolfpack a lot of credit for hanging in and still trying to play, and that takes some commendation. So, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as we would say, credit to these players for actually staying in, 2 versus 3. Because when you're in this kind of situation, I honestly, I would be a player that would just quit. I just feel I cannot deal with this anymore. I'm getting trounced. I'd probably go and play a game of Minecraft to calm myself down. And that probably wouldn't go very well. I'd definitely panic seeing a zombie.
Sure.
That being said, as we said, right, complete props to these guys. They're staying in. They're not losing their heads. So really well played on that front. That being said, game number 2 goes the way of the Screaming Club Eagles. Not a surprise at all, given the current situation. There is only we are really trying to say here is what there is to analyze with these 2 teams.
There's not much. There's literally nothing. Like, this is when you're playing a 3v2 and you're the team with 3. There's nothing to analyze because you should be winning the game. You should be winning the game. This is a matchup where you simply, your strat is we have one extra person. So, just win the game forehead.
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 I kind of wonder as well if Gage, completely aware, because obviously they would have been aware that they were in a 2 versus 3 before they joined up to this match. I kind of wonder if Gage changed their car so that they could be like, well, it's a meme. We're going to lose anyway, so what does it matter?
Maybe.
Because no one uses that car. I don't even know what the name of the car is, and I play a lot of Rocket League.
Maybe. I used to know the name. I don't remember anymore, but... I forget what the Hummer came out with. I used to know the Harbinger. Yeah, the Harbinger, the Hamburglar car. That was a great car. But yeah, I mean, maybe, sure. But even when you meme, people usually bring out the Batmobile because it's got a pretty good hitbox. But yeah, it's it is. Or they'll bring out like the Scarab.
There was a point.
They'll bring out the Scarab, which is a very, very good car.
There was a point where the Batmobile was actually a meta car.
Yeah, it still technically is, but everyone moved on to the Dominus. But yeah, the Batmobile is still. I mean, you still see it get pulled out in the RLCS. Yeah, it is. It's disgusting. But the Scarab, I mean, I've seen that a couple of times in the RLCS as like a meme. So that's usually what people will pull out. But yeah, it's just it is what it is.
I agree. It is what it is. Screaming Club Eagles, they are definitely going to walk away with this. It's a foregone conclusion at this point, and so we find ourselves, I guess, I mean, we can talk about the Rocket League we've seen today generally, right? Because we've seen quite a lot. This is our 8th and final match to conclude day number 2, and we've seen a ton of Rocket League. It's been a lot more varied than I think what we saw yesterday, Sean, right? Where yesterday it was essentially it wasn't essentially, it was all 4-0 performances, even though some of those matches were close, regardless of the scoreline. However, today we've had best of 7s go all the way to game 7 3 times, I want to say, and then 4-0s also 3 times. This would be the 4th if it does turn out that way. If it doesn't, it would be spectacular. And then 1 game 5. So there has been a wider variety of game finishes today.
Yeah, there really has. I'm trying to remember. Did we see a game 6 today? I don't think we did. Yeah, we did.
No,
we did.
No game 6.
We did. Back in Arizona. It was Brophy and Camelback.
I thought that was game 5.
Oh, yeah.
And that was game 5.
You're right. Sorry. Yeah. We went to game 6, but it was 4-1. No, I don't know. Yeah, we went
didn't
to
see a game 6.
Did we not see game 6? It's been a long day. Whatever. All right, it doesn't matter. All right, listen. We've had 4-0s. We've had 4-1s. We've had 4-3s. Okay, so yeah, that's just kind of how today's been. 2 minutes to go here in this one. 2-0 lead series count for Screaming Club Eagles. For the Wolfpack, they've had a valiant effort. I give them again so much credit for staying in. 2 minutes to go. It's only a 1-goal game, but I don't. If I'm a betting man, which I'm not, I would not put a lot of chips into the idea that Screaming Club Eagles are playing their best Rocket League, because they're essentially like, we have a goal, let's just play around and kill the time. Like, there's really not a big need to continue to score.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, this is done. This is a foregone conclusion. That's kind of why we're talking about other things at the moment. I apologise to everyone in the Twitch chat and everyone watching the stream right now who would like a competitive game. Unfortunately, it's just the way the
Hey, if you want a competitive game, you should watch Vossinator and Vigil back, because that was basically like
get them back in.
That was like Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. back when they were both like really good at boxing. That's like a old '90s fight. It was just back and forth. What's other good boxing match? I don't know, but Stazzy scored 1-1. Wolfpack. All of a sudden, life is back.
Oh dear. Let's talk about players then that we like. We like the look of today, right? So going down the list, we started off with Kentucky. MVP of that matchup for me was probably Yo-Yo on the Rockets gold team.
Yeah, Yo-Yo. I mean, how many times did he come off the sidewall and like put up an assist for a teammate?
There was some insane plays there. And this, I guess, is just an opportunity for us to give some people credit, give some players credit. For Virginia matchup, we saw the
Turbo.
I'm gonna say the Rocket Knights go through and
medium break score 2-1.
Yes. Yeah. So Kiro for me, absolutely the MVP for that roster. Alabama Black Bears versus Fusion. Steel, without a shadow of a doubt, Fusion ended up winning that matchup. Then we moved with Texas for Mac E versus the Vikings. Of course, that was Vikings' match. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. I actually don't know who I would have called for that one. I would probably say Hospos, maybe?
It's funny, I actually don't remember who I would pick for that either. I think, Hospos, he was involved with a lot of, assists, but I don't know. I don't remember. It's weird. I don't actually remember that match a whole lot. It's been a long day.
It's okay.
But Arizona was a bit of a banger. We had 4-1, but it was pretty back and forth.
Yes.
Looking at this matchup, I'd put J-Man because he had a couple of goals, but the majority of the time he was usually the guy intercepting the passes and setting it up for Ki Young. So
I disagree.
Okay,
I'm gonna say it was Ki Young. I know, obviously you're talking about setups, right? Ki Young though. Scored the most goals in those games, and I think was getting into the right positions more.
Was that the one where they did not show up in game 2, and then all of a sudden game 3, 4, and 5 they just smoked them? Yeah, okay.
It's crazy. That was Arizona. Just to give you guys an update of what's going on. I'm sure you can see it anyway with game 3. But
we got one more to go.
Surprise!
Yeah.
It is going to be a win here for the team that has 3 players. What a shock that is. The Coastal Regions right now going in favor of Screaming Club Eagles. Got a couple of games to go through though while we're talking about it. So we have Colorado to talk about. We had Vossanator versus Vijal. I'm not going to call which one of those was better because obviously
Vijal probably because they won it. Yeah, I would say him. Yeah.
But special shout out to Vossanator because he bossed it. California, and this is the last one we're going to talk about before we send it to our final or potential final. Kiwi, yeah, absolutely. Let's take it to game number 4 then in our final match of the day here at day 2 of the Play Versus. My brain is fried. Play Versus Fall 2020 High School Championship. Likely looking to be the final game of Rocket League of the day, and it has been a long day of Rocket League games.
It's been a fun one, though. I mean, dude, we've seen all gambits of the Rocket League emotion. That's the goal, 1-0 lead. And we've seen Game 7s that have been exciting, right? Like Vigil versus Vossiter. Did I get his name right? I don't know. The V's.
Vossanator.
The V boys. They were incredible. And we've seen Game 7s. We've seen teams that have flipped the script and just completely fixed how they played from Games 2 and 3. We have seen 4-0s. Speaking of which, this one just caught a foregone conclusion before the series even started. 3v2. I mean, barring a miracle like yesterday, this one might be done. So, again, we've seen all types of Rocket League, but Brody, that kind of closes out our qualifier rounds. We've seen 15. We've seen 15 teams, 15 specific states and regions that have all been fighting to be represented in the championship bracket coming tomorrow. Who do you I'm just gonna throw this out there. Who do you think is gonna be the best team? Who do you think is gonna take it?
Oh man, I am super excited to see. I mean, obviously because the third player for the Griffins didn't do anything.
That's true. Yeah.
They actually turned up for a little bit, and they were worse with the third player. That being said, I'm excited to see what they can do when they are at full strength for that roster. It will be super interesting. Of course, KSM White as well, another noticeable roster from day number 1 that we must talk about because they played extremely well. So Louisiana and Hawaii have some great representatives in the final bracket. Specifically relating to today, though,
I think Shelby County could be really good for Kentucky.
Yes, yeah.
Because they were
probably not incorrect.
That series was back and forth. They were hitting everything. I honestly think they could be really good.
Yep, you're not wrong. Of course, I think we would be amiss to mention the fact that Colorado, the Rocky Mountain High School team, played extremely well in their matchup. Of course, it was very close. Although I would say I'm a little bit sort of. I'm cautious to say that roster is going to dominate the competition.
Because it was all Vigil, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. It was all one player. So if maybe the rest of the team can step things up, and Vigil doesn't have to do everything.
Sure.
That can work for some top level Rocket League
absolutely.
teams, right?
What is
so
this
there are always examples of players where they essentially carry the team, and it has been noticed from time to time. But you do need your team to step things up, and when that can happen, maybe this roster will go nuclear.
Yeah, look, if everyone was playing as good as Vigil, I think they're heavy favorites to possibly take this whole thing. But I just think that he has been a one-man show, and that might come back to hurt him. Louisiana, I think the Griffins have a chance for sure, but we didn't really see their third, so I can't give them the benefit of the doubt. 2-0 lead at the moment for Screaming Club Eagles. Mississippi, it was the Christian Reds who's 4-0 third way through Pearl High. Michigan, it was a 4-0 sweep again, Rat winner. Or Rats, one of the two. I don't know. But Michigan was a 4-0 sweep. Everything from yesterday was a 4-0 sweep. Deering High, I've had commentators come to me and say Deering High is a team to look out for, so I'm certainly going to keep them on the front of my mind. But I look at today's, and I think that today's matchups were a little bit more contested and a little bit better. I think Shelby County, specifically in Kentucky, first match of the day. I think Goomba, Primal, and Yo-Yo. That is a team that is certainly capable of making a long run tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely an underdog team, I think, for sure. I'd also take a look at the Brophy Iota team.
Yeah.
J-Man, Ki Young, and Vale. I think they can definitely do some damage in the final bracket. I think, most of the other teams, for the life of me, I can't actually recall what day one looked like for a number of these rosters. But I think for a number of other teams in this tournament, there is just like one standout player, and the rest of the team kind of provides a support role, which I know can happen with Rocket League teams. But I think some of the teams that we've just highlighted, for me, it comes down to the whole team is really good. And that's scary when you've got a whole roster that can go off at any moment. It doesn't matter what esport you are watching. If you have a whole team,
Farming Simulator,
capable. Yeah. Okay. Well. I doubt that's an esport. Tell me that's not an esport.
It is. It's amazing. It's actually incredibly fun to watch. I think they had like $1 million world championship, and it was honestly, it was impressive.
Dude, I would destroy the competition. I was a Farmville world champion back on the old Facebook days.
I hate you so
much.
And
please tell me you play Farmville.
Is that the one where they get you to hey, I have sheep or something, and people got excited about having sheep? People got really excited.
I don't remember that. I was bearing in mind, I was 11 years old when I played Farmville back in the day.
Wasn't that last week?
Back in the day. God, dude, you gotta shut your mouth. Anyway, so it doesn't matter what esport. I completely forgot where my point was for a second there. It doesn't matter what esport you're in. If you have a team that could all go off individually at any one moment, it is a scary time for the opposition, and that's why I'm excited to see those rosters that we did highlight. So keep an eye on the teams that we mentioned just a moment ago as we go into day number 3. Talking about the end of day number 2, though, we've got 90 seconds till it's all over for the Wolfpack. The nightmare is almost done with the Screaming Club Eagles. I feel like the Wolfpack are going to be seeing them in their dreams tonight.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is... actually, I think they kind of went into the series knowing it was going to be a tall task, and as soon as game 1 was done, I don't know if they're going to be dreaming about anything tonight, because this was over. I would have known, hey, we're probably not going to win this series. Let's just try, but this one might be washed. It's done. 60 seconds left till we close it out. They're playing great defense for the situation they're in. I mean, they are certainly still throwing bodies at this ball. They have numbers here, but 60 seconds to go, and we've spent the majority of the day, aside from the series we've seen, we've been talking about a lot of the teams. We've been talking about the matchups coming into tomorrow. Again, all the qualifiers have been called. So Screaming Club Eagles will represent the coastal region going into tomorrow's championship bracket, and tomorrow it's single elimination and still best of 7. So this is how it works. Tomorrow we will crown a champion of the high school region of the high school circuit. And we've spent the whole day talking about the teams, the way this bracket works, the way this format, the tournament works, the different regions, who we think is going to be favorited. And, sometimes it's only fitting to end the day the way that you began the tournament. So a 4-0 is going to be possible and likely and actually happen here. And, Brody, closing thoughts kind of on all the matches we saw today.
I've been wildly impressed. As I said,
sure.
There's been a lot more resistance this time around, day number 2 in comparison to day number 1. So I'm excited to see what day number 3, our final day of play, is going to bring us for this tournament. as we close things out with 20 seconds left. The Screaming Club Eagles. I mean, hey, Wolfpack, they could come back in this with 16 seconds left. It's still mathematically possible.
Sure.
But it won't be for long here as the timer is counting down. It's almost over for the Wolfpack. And they get a goal! Hey!
Brazil!
Let's go, Snazzy. You get a goal. Oh, Screaming Club Eagles. They let their concentration slip for a moment.
Oh my god.
Oh, E-Dog, he's blaming the old. I was trying to go for my settings.
It's the Brazil.
Yeah.
Sure you were.
Well, it's a goal nonetheless, and it's a nice consolation prize for Wolfpack for having to endure this torment. But the Screaming Club Eagles, they're going to be our 15th and final team making their way towards bracket. I believe there's actually going to be 16. I'm pretty sure there's going to be 16. It would make sense for a bracket to be 16 teams. That being said, they will be our final team going into the final bracket. And it's a well-deserved win from them. Well, I say it's a well-deserved win. We can't really say that, considering they went on 3 versus 2. I will say one thing. I'm excited to see what the Screaming Club Eagles can do tomorrow, because obviously we haven't seen them in a fair fight. Let's put them in the Gladiator Arena tomorrow, and let's see what.
Well, I'm excited. Again, we've spent all day talking about all these teams. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Louisiana State can do. I'm looking forward to seeing what teams from New York and specifically Kentucky can do. Colorado, Arizona, they were all impressive today. But Brody, closing thoughts on the last match of the day, and before we headed into the break for tomorrow, because we have to go to sleep, I guess. So, what are your closing thoughts?
Yeah. What even is sleep? Closing thoughts on that match. I feel so bad for Wolfpack.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. As I said, though, Screaming Club Eagles, I'm really excited to see what they go through tomorrow, because it's going to be interesting to see how they face certain teams with 3 players on the field. So yeah, that's not to doubt their ability at all. They did look like they were mechanically skilled, at least, especially E-Dog. He was doing all kinds of tricks and flips in that game. Overall, though, for day 2, I'm wildly impressed with what we saw from Rocket League. All of these high school players seriously impressed me. I'm excited to see what our 3rd and final day brings, Sean. It's going to be epic.
We saw 8 best of 7s. I had a wonderful time sitting here chatting with you about some Rocket League, and thank you to the players for all showing up today and giving us your very best. We appreciate it. Tomorrow we will crown a champion, but for now we do have to take a break, and by a break I mean an overnight sleep, whatever that may be in 2020. But we thank you guys for watching day number 2 of the Play vs. Fall 2020 High School Rocket League Championship. Tomorrow we will continue on with the championship part of the bracket. Single elimination. You guys know the deal. We have all the teams slotted and ready to go. We will crown a champion. But until then, we thank you guys for watching day 2. Get ready for day 3. Take care. Have a good night.